is my children and my grandchildren, and I have not heard anyone say anything about that. This bill was not about the rights of gay people to marry each other. This bill was about changing our whole way of society. And I am very concerned about my grandchildren going into the public schools, which you readily said were not allowed to participate in this. And I don't want them being taught all of these issues that have to do with interracial marriage. And so, for you, not a question, I would not interrupt, whatever, you know.
But this is, see, this is
you
Let her have her time.
work with the Department of Education and prevent our kindergartners from being taught about same-sex marriage. It has nothing to do with whether they can get married or not. They don't need to be taught how to have same-sex marriage.
there is, at New Valley, they had a worksheet that went into that school, and this was just last week. This was last week. On that worksheet, they had 3 relationships that were described. 2 were heterosexual, 1 was homosexual. The only relationship that was described as healthy was the homosexual relationship. Now that's the pilot program that's now going to go into 33 of our public schools, right? And in one of the amendments we asked, remember, if you're a teacher who doesn't believe in teaching that, you have no choice now. There's no protection for teachers. There's no protection for those children, for parents who don't want them to have this put in. And they were actually described very explicitly certain types of acts that probably shouldn't, 7th graders shouldn't be exposed to at that age. So, and it was the governor who forced the special
The 2
session.
minutes are up.
My name is Marcy Pata. I do not work for BYU. I don't work for the Polynesian Cultural Center or HRI. I do live in Laie, and I love Laie. My husband graduated from Castle High School, and we're very fortunate that all of our children live in Hawaii and would like that to remain the case. And as I've been watching people come up here to testify, I have seen some Polynesian people come up. I have seen a lot of older white people come up who have said, I came before you and I don't want to share it with anybody else. I was here 30 years ago and I have my beachfront property, or I have my house on the hill with a view of the ocean, but I don't want your kids to have that. I want to keep the space for me. And I think that to be sustainable, you need to be able to accommodate future generations, not mass produce, but future generations. And for people to be happy and to have a good life, they need to be able to have their posterity around them. And I think that's what the Hawaiian people want. That's what they're all about, is family and staying together. And I think that's critical as we go forward. And as far as the sustainable prices go, you know, if we don't get something going to where a developer can actually do some drawings and feel like something is going to happen, they can't possibly give you a price. Prices change from year to year, and you know, what is sustainable today, 5 years from now, is not going to be realistic. And so, you know, if you're thinking, well, 20 years ago they told me this, but you refuse to pass the bill so they can move forward.
Your time is over. Thank you.
You can't expect a $150,000 house.
Thank you. Next, please.